Hello, hello. How are you all doing? We are doing the Curious Octopus live tie-dye workshop this evening. I'm clapping myself, but there we go. Oh no, you can't see all the mess that's over there. Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Curious Octopus live craft night this evening, and we are learning how to do tie-dye. I have come online a little bit earlier, so if you want to if you're watching again and you want to just fast forward, then please feel free to do that. Let me move this back a little bit just to get some more stuff. It seems very wide angled over there. Hello everybody. Hello Charlotte, how are you doing? Charlotte from Fleur Boutique is our wonderful expert on the glass resin flowers that we made in, when was that, Charlotte? Was it July? June, July, August? Maybe August. And we made these wonderful glass resin flowers. So if you would like to make glass resin flowers, head on over to fleurboutique.org.uk because she is an expert. You could just buy them or you can buy a kit and I can show you how to do it because there's a live video on YouTube already. It was ages ago. Crazy. Right. If anyone is watching on YouTube, please just let me know. So let me know that the sound is working and that everything's okay over there. Thank you so much for the likes. I don't know who it is that's joining today. So if you are watching and you are doing a box today, I've had a few new, as I do most months, a few new customers that have bought boxes. So I do try and get to know you guys a little bit, but I can only really do that if you interact with the live and with the Facebook group and that kind of thing. So I really, really love to see who's on, what you're doing. Make it, I know it's a one-way video feed, but please do try and make it like a two-way thing where you say hello Anna, hello, as Anna has just done. So yeah, please, if you are new to Curious Octopus and you've got your first box this month, which I know there are a few of you, please try and interact as much as you can. I do really love to try and get to know you guys a little bit, and you know, it just makes it a bit more of a real thing. There are craft subscription boxes out there, and they send you the boxes and you're kind of like free to just get on with it. But I really like that this one is a bit more of a interaction. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm teaching you how to do it, and hopefully you can interact back with me by commenting on the lives. But also we have a closed Facebook group. I can never remember the actual proper name, but I'm sure it's Curious Octopus Art Makers, something like that. I'll put the link in, or send me a message if I've forgotten. You have to be approved to join it so that it's not just anyone in there. It is lots of creatives in there, lots of people. So we talk about what we've been making recently, but we also talk about what we've made this month. Thank you very much. This is the jumper that I've made for the tie-dye workshop. So thanks, Charlotte. I think someone else just said something that I might have missed. Oh, Anna said thank you, Anna. Yeah, so this is one of the, I would have loved to send you all a hoodie and a t-shirt so we could have done this in a hoodie and a t-shirt, but sizing and So what we're going to make today is tea towels. We're going to tie-dye tea towels, and then you will have enough dye to dye whatever you want afterwards. So if you want to buy your own hoodie, this is literally just a cheap one from Amazon. I do have a link. I do get a little tiny commission for if you buy it from that link. So just do what you want. You can if you want. You can not if you want. If you just want to go to find your own hoodie, that's absolutely fine. But I obviously have to say that there's a tiny little bit of commission. I don't know how much it is. I've not really done this before, but anyway, this is it's a Fruit of the Loom one that I bought from, I think it was £12 or something like that. Anyway, shall we start? Is everybody here? Well, we're only 2 minutes in, aren't we? So maybe I'll give you all a little bit longer because people are putting kids to bed. But let me know what you're doing that's creative or positive. What have you been doing that's creative or positive this week, this month? And just to let you know, I'll probably say this again when there's more people on, to prepare your space. In here, if you haven't opened your box yet, in here is a tablecloth. So to prepare your space, you may have a tablecloth already, but I've given you a plastic tablecloth, so we're not going to dye everything because this stuff dyes. It's so good, but it is dye. So we do have to be very careful not to dye everything that we don't want dyeing, if you know what I mean. So in your box, there will be a folded up tablecloth. Feel free to keep it for any other craft projects. They're quite good. They're really, really thin, but they're really handy. I also need you to get yourself a bowl of water, a washing up bowl, a bucket, and just of cold water. So I've just literally got a glass bowl of water. It needs to be enough to submerge a tea towel in. So it doesn't have to be massive. You know, this kind of bowl is fine. And you will also need some sandwich bags, but carrier bags are fine, bin bags, cling film, anything, because once we've done the tie-dye, we are going to wrap it up. If also, I'm just going to run off and get something else. If you do have a bin bag as well, that's really handy, and I will show you why. I'm just going to go and run off because I forgot to get them. Get yourself a bin bag if you can. Just 1 second. So sorry for this. I always try and get everything ready, but you know, you always forget something. Right, I'm back with bin bags. And I will show you why when we are going a little bit more. If you can get yourself a bin bag, please do. So cover your table with your tablecloth provided. Get yourself a bowl of water, cold water. Don't wear good clothes for this. Please don't wear good clothes. If you need to go and put some more clothes on or an apron, anything that this dye touches, it's going to stick to. I would have some paper towels nearby or an old tea towel. I'm going to say the word tea towel many times tonight, so I don't know why I'm forgetting it already. Yeah, an old tea towel. And you need a bit of a space. We're going to have to be folding our tea towels and then dyeing them. Okay, is everybody ready? Everybody that is here. Is there anyone on YouTube? Can you hear me? Is everything okay over there? If you can, please just let me know on YouTube. If I miss your comments on TikTok or on YouTube, well, YouTube, I can tend to see it. TikTok moves quite quickly. So if I miss something, please just send it again. Don't worry about bothering me or anything because I want to be bothered. I want communication. I like the back and forth. I love having, I know it's one way and it's me talking more than you, but please do comment and chat back. So I don't know if everybody is ready. 6 minutes in. Do we think everybody is here? Can't wait to see what everyone creates. I've got to get the boys to bed. Speak to you soon. Yep, nice to see you, Charlotte. I will speak to you soon. Say goodnight to the boys. Anna is ready. There's quite a few people that are away at the moment, so they will be doing the boxes later. So I think, are we good to go? TikTok's changed the numbers. It says 425, 525. I don't know what that means. Charlotte's ready. Hello, Julia. Hello, Judith. How's everybody doing? Charlotte, there's too many Charlottes involved in this. Charlotte, my sister, could you please just double check the YouTube is working? Please. And just send me a little message on there if you can, or if anyone else fancies just double checking that it's working. Hello, Nads. How are you doing? I always wanted to try this. Oh, good. Yeah, so many people have said, oh, I haven't done that since I was a kid. So it's a good one. It's an exciting one. But what I've found is, since I've had kids, I've done a couple of tie-dye kits, and which has been fine. But Charlotte, stop liking the live on TikTok and have a look on YouTube, please, because I can't really start until I know that's working. But I do appreciate the likes very much. Thank you very much. What I've found is the dye that you get in with the kits are so diluted, or they're just not very good. I bought these dyes. I bought these boxes of dye about this big each, and I've got all the different colors. And I was thinking, that's got to go to however many boxes. I need more than that. It's so strong, this dye. It's very, very... Hello, Ames. It's it's a brilliant dye. It's really, really bright. It was me trying to make pastel colors. I diluted it to like 10 times weaker than it told me with pastels, because I kept diluting it, and it was still so strong. So we're going to get some very good rainbowy for Nads. Who said something then? Thanks, Ames. Love it. Oh, thanks for all the likes, everybody. Oh, Hendy is there. Thanks a lot. Although blurry. No, do you know what it is? It is my internet still. They were supposed to put it in and they didn't. So hopefully by next month, I should have fibre. I thought I did already. Anyway, not going to start moaning about that. At least this isn't a fine detail one this time. It's quite easy. So as long as you can hear it and you can roughly see it, I think you should be fine. And I'm so sorry, but hopefully next month it should be clearer and much better internet. Right, shall we start? Shall we open our boxes? Have you got your things ready? You need to get your tablecloth out of this box. This is just for anyone that missed the beginning. Get your tablecloth off. Cover your table. Put some old clothes on, or clothes that it doesn't matter if you get tie-dye on them. Please don't ruin anything and blame me. You will need a bowl of water. So a bowl like this, anything that you can just submerge a tea towel in. So a bucket, a washing up bowl, or just a bowl like this. You will need some plastic to cover this in. So if you've got sandwich bags, carrier bags, cling film, anything like that, get yourself some of that. And it's not, you don't need to, but if you've got a bin bag, just grab yourself a bin bag, okay? And you might need a tea towel for drying things when it gets a bit wet. Are we ready? Ames loves a sandwich bag. These are really good. I love a Ziploc bag. And these are the ones I am now going to be using all the time for my tie-dye, because you can just rinse them out and go again. Right, are we ready? Is everybody okay? Bin bags, just grab one. You don't need to do anything with it at the moment, but just grab a couple and just keep them with you. All right? If you don't have one, don't worry too much. I would maybe use, no, you'll probably be fine. I mean, you've got this, I did it so that you could use this tablecloth instead of a bin bag, but the bin bag is so good to be able to just like lift it off. So basically we're going to open up the bin bag, do the tie dyeing inside the bin bag because you get a little bit of pooling underneath and then that's kind of hard to clear off. So we're going to open it up, try and dye each one in the bin bag, and then we are going to, then you can get rid of that so that you don't have dye everywhere. It's just an extra hack really, but you don't have to have it. Just makes clearing up easier. Right, thank you for the rose. Are we all ready? Gives a thumbs up or a like or a whatever. If you are ready, okay. So with your, right, let's just have a look at what we've got in our box. Curious Octopus box this month. We have our information card. Right. We have gloves. We are going to need gloves. We have lots of elastic bands. We have our mixing cups. We've got our squeezy, two type. We've got a squeezy bottle and a squeezy pipette. We have stirring sticks. And in our little packet of dyes, we have our measuring spoon. We have stain remover, salt, and then all of our dyes in order. So if you are not, oh, thanks for the octopus and the thumbs up. I thought I heard something there. If you're not totally comfortable with the colour wheel, I'd leave them in order for now. If you are, don't worry about it. But we will probably be using them in order, and sometimes you can't quite see what the colours are before they're mixed, okay? Right. And we have our tea towels. They are pure cotton tea towels. So this dye is specifically for cotton or any natural fibres. You can dye any natural fibre with this. So if you have some bedding that you want to dye, or some pillows or a jumper or whatever, as long as it is a natural fibre, you will be able to dye whatever you want with this, okay? So you can pre-wash your, oh, you took them all out, don't remember the order. No worries, Anna, don't worry about it. I mean, they are, I can tell you because they're all labelled, so we can put them back in order, that's fine. Right. What we're going to do with these is we don't add the tie-dye until the fabric is wet because it helps it to absorb evenly, okay? So there's a couple of tricks into how to allow this to dye evenly. I mean, we don't want it to be exactly even because we're doing tie-dye. We like the splashy colours, but it helps it. You know, when sometimes when fabric gets wet initially, it sits on the top of the fabric before it decides to soak in. So what we're doing is wetting it first so that the dye can then penetrate the fibres. Right, so we are going to get our bucket of water. We don't want loads of water in it. We just want enough to submerge our tea towels one at a time. We don't have to do them all at a time either. Right, in your pile of powders, the stain remover you can keep till later, so put that to the side. What we're looking for is the salt. It's a big bag of white powder, and we'll put our dyes to the side for the minute. You have a measuring spoon, and each of these spoons will measure out 1 gram of powder when it's flat. So we're going to use this to get our dye out and our salt and anything else. We're going to try and keep it reasonably tidy. Oh, actually, we're going to need water for that as well, but we'll go and get water later. Should have got a jug. Anyway, right. If you open your salt, when it lets a bit of air in, I did try and get as much of the air out as I could. So when you let a bit of air in, it should be easier to get your spoon in. Right, so we're just going to put a little bit of salt into our bowl of water. The reason is salt helps the dye to spread evenly. Okay, I've dyed my cushions in my conservatory years ago, and I just put one of those dye-on things in. And what I realized is, because a lot of it was pink and purple and that kind of thing, there was a lot of mixing of colors within this dye-on, you know, in the washing machine thing, and it didn't mix properly, and I had splashes of like blue and red on the pillows when they came out because it didn't mix properly. What I found out is that salt, or they call it salt ash, that helps the dye to spread evenly. So what we can do here, we're going to add a bit to each of our mixtures to help with the spread, but we're also going to add a little bit to our water. I'm just going to put maybe like two or three grams of this in. It doesn't really matter. It's just getting a little bit in. Try not to get this wet. Try and remember to close each one of your bags. Try and make sure you close them, because otherwise you're going to get salt everywhere. Right, keep your spoon dry. You can use one of your mixing sticks and you can just mix that salt until it mixes in. Doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes it takes a little while to disperse. Right. Now, what we're going to do is wet each one of our towels. Put this slightly to the side. And we're going to fold them all in different ways. Oh, I'm going to show you. Here's one I did earlier. So I'm going to show you 3 different styles of tie-dyeing this evening. And then, so we've got 5 tea towels. I'm going to show you 3 different techniques, all very colourful, but then you've got 2 more to do whatever you want with. Hello, Lola. How are you doing? So we've got the scrunch. This is the scrunch. I don't know if you can see all the colours very well on there. Okay, we have the scrunch. We have, well, should we just do one at a time? No, I'll show you. This is the concertina. It looks a bit yellowy in the light. I think it's because of the light that I'm using, but it's a lot more vivid and purpley pinky than I think it's showing on TikTok and YouTube. But that's the concertina, and this is my personal favorite. This is the spiral. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do all 3 of these today, and then you can do whatever you want after that. So shall we do, which one do you want to do first? You like the last one? I like the last one too. Shall we start with the scrunch? Right. We're going to get one of our tea towels. This should be pretty much dispersed now. There's a little bit still left in it, but it's absolutely fine. Right. We're going to get our tea towel and just dunk it into the water so it's completely wet. I need to be careful that I'm not getting And if my device is wet. Oh. Right. Make sure it's completely wet. Give it a couple of scrunches. Get all the bubbles out. Okay. And then once it's wet, we're going to wring it out as much as we can because we don't want it to be wet. We want it to just be damp. Okay. You don't want it dripping everywhere. It's also going to have dye on it in a minute as well. So wring it out. Okay. And then we've got a wet tea towel. You can put it on your side. And this one is literally just, it's exactly as it says on the tin. It says scrunch. We're scrunching it together and then we're going to add the dye. So the idea with tie-dye a lot of the time is that you still see a little bit of the white through. You don't have to if you don't want to. You don't, but it gives you a little bit of, a bit more of a dynamic, if you know what I mean. So this one, the scrunch one, I find actually does naturally leave a lot of white still on the towel. Okay. So what we're going to do is get some bands in your cups. You have a load of elastic bands, so get some of your elastic bands out, and we're going to just prepare all of the tea towels before we start doing the dyes, because the dyeing is obviously when it gets messy. So I'm just going to like grab a few different areas of this, and as I grab, I'm pulling it into the middle so that I want lots of the material going up and down and up and down, okay? So try and grab it together until it's in a bit of a ball. Scrunch, push it down, okay, until you've got something that looks a bit like this. Can you see that? Now what I need to do is hold it together with a elastic band. So I'll put the elastic band all the way around the outside, and then you can double it over because you want it to really hold tight. I mean, it doesn't move that much. It's not too big a deal if it moves. One band is probably enough. Sometimes this light is a bit too bright. So can you see that? So we've just scrunched that one up, and now I'm going to put that to the side. We're going to do the next one. Get your next tea towel. I did give you 5, didn't I? Yeah. Right, next one in. Oh, you have 4. Maybe I did give you 4. 1, 2. I did give you 4. Sorry. Okay, one of them you can do what you want on. I think I was hoping to do 5. You got 4. Sorry. Set of 4. Right. Again. Is everyone okay with that first one? Squeeze it out. Now, tie-dye is a bit of a 3-4 step process. So what I'm going to have to do this evening is show you how to do the actual tie-dyeing. And then I'm going to give you the process, because what we do is let the dye set for as long as we can. Well, I say as long as we can, at least 8 hours, preferably, well, ideally 24 hours, but preferably somewhere more than 12 hours. So if you can handle waiting that long, it really does let the dye set in a little bit more. Right, this one, we're going to try the concertina effect. So that is this one. I've done another type of concertina, but this one I folded in half first. Oh, shouldn't want to do that. I folded it in half and then we did the concertina, okay? So this is what we're going to do here. Again, all of these things, there's no hard and fast rules to this. You can do whatever you want. So if you want to do it slightly different, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to show you how to do the concertina like I did with that one. So I'm going to fold it in half like this. And then I'm going to do a concertina just up one, you know, the long way. But again, if you want to do it the other way, do your concertina through the whole length of the tea towel, that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to fold over maybe 1.5 inches one way. If you want to do it the slow way, you can do it. You can then turn it over, fold it back the same amount, turn it over, fold it back. Or if you can be a little bit more dexterous, you can kind of lift it up and fold it like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the joy of doing something creative. We're letting go of doing things perfectly. We are going with the creativity. We're exploring, we're playing. We're just having a nice time and allowing it to be whatever it needs to be. Right, so with this one, I'm not going to use any bands because I'm just going to leave it like that. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to unravel really. It's just going to stay where it is. Right, I'm going to put that one to the side. Okay, number 3. Get that in and wet. Give it a squish. I'm loving the idea at the moment of the whole make a mistake on purpose type thing. What is it in here? In anything creative, you know, there's so much talk about AI and, you know, people not doing anything creative anymore because there's that need to be perfect. And so I feel like with every Curious Octopus box, whether it's intentional or accidental, we need to make a mistake, because when I send these boxes out to you, every single one of you has got an identical box, but what you add to it and then you make at the end of it is not identical. They're all completely different, and that's because you guys have done your own thing. Some of the boxes, some of the things like the cross stitch was very nearly identical. However, there was a couple of stitches that I did wrong, did in the wrong place. I thought, should I unstitch them? No, because then that's mine. That's what makes it creative. Right, with our spiral, sorry, I haven't been reading any of your messages, so if you have been messaging anything, I've just been waffling on myself. So with the spiral, we need to find the center point. You don't really have to, but if you want to, I'm going to find the center point. What I'm going to do is fold. They do go very wrinkly, don't they, when they've been in the water? So what you can do is fold it in half and push it down so that you get a little bit of a center line, and then do it the other way. Bearing in mind, when you push down on that line, you won't be able to see exactly where it crosses, but you'll be able to see roughly because you'll see where the outer lines are. So can you, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see that the middle point is there now because my lines are going across. So I might have to stand up for this one. Is everybody okay? Right. What we need to do now, when you've got this out and it's ready, this might pull the tablecloth a little bit. I want you to pinch right in the center. I feel like this is going to pull the tablecloth. Pinch the center and then twist, okay? When you pull your fingers out, there'll be two little spaces where your fingers can sit. Put them in again, twist around. Can you see that? And you've got a little space in the middle where you can put your fingers in again and twist it around. So keep twisting. Eventually, you want to keep pushing it down so you've got more surface area to dye. And as you keep twisting, you can hold a bit further out. Keep twisting until all the sides go around and it looks like a little spinny Catherine wheel. Okay, tuck the edges in as much as you can. Make sure they're all going the same direction. So if you need to hold the middle and twist it round and push all those sides in, you can do that. But also what we want is for this to be quite flat. So we want as much surface area to dye as possible. Okay, is everybody okay there? So can you see my little Catherine wheel of tea towels? So I'm going to try and tuck all those bits in. Oops. And then I'm going to get a band. I'm going to try and make sure all of these bits are as squished in as possible and try and get a band around the whole thing, holding as much of it down as I can. And then I'm going to double it over. These are good, nice big bands. You should be able to double over and do the same thing. And again, you don't need to secure this too securely. It just needs to be just to hold it into place. So, I mean, that's just gone around the outside twice. But I've got a nice spiral pattern going on there now. Looks like a rose. You see? So it's slightly different on both sides, but effectively it's a flattish disc of fabric. Right, now I'm going to do one more. Where's the other one? Now this one's up to you. You can do something completely different, or you can do one of those again. I might do a diagonal concertina or something like that. Whatever you fancy doing. Right. Squeeze it out. Right, I'm going to put my bowl of water over here now. And I'm going to do a bit of a diagonal concertina, aiming up to that other corner. I don't know how this is going to go. I haven't done it before, but isn't that the joy of creativity? This one's a bit harder to do just lying down. It might be easier to flip it every time. The good thing is it does kind of stick to itself once you're folding it. It kind of knows where you want it to sit, and it does kind of stay there once you've folded it. You can kind of go over like that. You can kind of lift it up and fold it back on itself. This is a bigger one. Is everybody okay? Oh gosh, what's going on here? It's got very wide. Okay, I'm gonna. Right, I am nearly done with this. Very long concertina. Okay. Now that one's gone for a. There we go. I'll move it back up again so you can see me. Right, so what we are left with is I've got a flat concertina. I have my diagonal concertina, which is a very long one. I've got my spinny rose and I've got my scrunch one. What we're going to do now is start mixing dye. So I'm going to move these out of the way, so they're completely out of the way. And we are going to start mixing our dye. You can use anything you want. Oh gosh, silly. You can use anything you want, but I would dry. I'm going to use my two-tone that I made earlier. Be careful of that happening. Hold your, because these tablecloths are very light, so hold your tablecloth down so we're not spilling our cups. I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to pop off again and grab some more water for our dye. Just 1 second. And I will be back. Talk amongst yourselves. Your hands might be sticky as well. Right. Sorry about that. Right, I'm back with water. Everybody okay? Right. We are now going to mix. So it is up to you what you want to do in terms of strength. If you want a very strong colour, we're going to mix less water with the dye. But to be fair, I found that their recommended amount didn't make that much difference when it was almost quadrupled with water. It was only when it went to about 10 times the dilution that it started making a difference and made it a little bit more. This is about 10 times diluted to this. It's really not that different. So if you want to go for, if you want these to go really, really far and you want to do more pastel colors, you can just use a tiny amount. Who was it? Anna, was it you saying about the order? So we've got Fire Engine Red, and we've got Brilliant Orange, we've got Lemon Yellow, we've got Bright Green, Turquoise, Medium Blue, Fuchsia, and then we've got a Jet Black. The Jet Black was a last minute addition. So we'll mix them in order as well if I did it too quickly. So yeah, I'm going to make probably a medium dilution. The thing is, we're only dyeing 4 tea towels. We're not going to need loads of liquid. And also, we're going to have 7 or 8 different colours. So if you think of the amount of liquid that are in all of those colours, we probably aren't going to use that much. So, oh, sorry. You want me to read them again? Yeah, no worries. So we've first got Fire Engine Red, Brilliant Orange, Lemon Yellow, Bright Green, Turquoise, Medium Blue, Fuchsia, and then the Jet Black. All right. So what we're going to do now is get our cups. We'll do one at a time. So I'm going to do like a medium mix. We're not going to need that much. I'm going to probably fill each one of these to the level 3. Okay. Now, in theory, that would need 3 scoops of this. Believe it or not, in each one of these bags, there's 12 scoops of each colour. So you've got absolutely loads, but that would do loads and loads of bags, loads and loads of things. You can dye tote bags and bedding and all sorts with this. But if you want it to go really far, you can just use 1 scoop to, you could pretty much use 1 scoop to nearly a whole cup of this. And if you're doing all the colours, I mean, that would probably easily dye a whole bedding. So a whole, duvet set. Right. We're going to start with our Fire Engine Red. You'll find as well, when you open these, like I said, the dye will all kind of move down to the bottom and it'd be easier to scoop. I just tried to flatten them all, get all the air out, just so it was easier to pack. Right, I'm going to fill my cup to a number, what's that in there? Something black in there. What did I say? Number 3? Number 2? I'll fill it to number 3. Okay. So number 3 is 90 mils. I'm going to get my little scoopy. Where is my little scoopy? And what we're going to do, whatever we add, oh, gloves. Thank you very much. Before you touch the dye, put on your gloves. I didn't do that the first time I did the tie-dye, and for about 2 weeks I had dye all around my fingernails. So thank you, Charlotte, for reminding me. I might take my rings off, actually. Right. Gloves, please, everybody. Thank you, Charlotte. Thanks for all the likes, everybody. So for each of the scoops of dye, we are also going to add the same amount of scoops of our ash salt. So I'm going to add 1 scoop of Fire Engine Red. Make it a flat scoop. It doesn't have to be exact, just shove it in. And 1 scoop of salt. If you want to get them all ready, you can get all your cups ready and just put salt in all of them. Gone into a bit of a blob. Right, and we're going to mix that all up. And that, you can see already how deep that colour is. This dye, honestly, when I first got it, I was so excited because it is just so strong. It's wonderful. Right, so I've just shown you how to do one. What I'm going to do is leave that one there. Get all of these out. I've also left you a spare cup to just put water in. So if you do get your little cup, little measuring spoon dirty with a different colour, you can just rinse it off in there. So I'll do that now. Just have my water one. If it's just a tiny bit and you're just going through the spectrum of colours, you probably won't need to, because you kind of want to keep this as dry as possible. But you don't have to. Right, what I'm going to do is put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because we've also got black. Right, I'm going to put 1 scoop of salt in each one of these. Be very careful because, as you can see, they're very easy to knock over. 1 scoop of salt per 1 scoop of colour. Yeah. So if you want to make your dye much stronger, I'm going to fill these up to 3. You can add 1, 2, or 3 scoops of dye, depending on how strong you want it. If you want it really, really weak and really like pastel-y, I'd probably put a 1/4 of a scoop in. Right, so we've done our red. That hasn't even mixed in properly yet. Let's do the powder first. So I'm going to put these in order, in a line, so you can see which ones I've done next. Anna. Right, so next I'm doing Brilliant Orange. You can kind of flatten it from the outside. Make sure you close each bag as you go. You don't want this stuff going everywhere. I'm going for lemon yellow next. And like I said, because I'm going for the next colour, I'm just going to use the scoop. It doesn't really matter. There's a tiny bit of the last one on there. It's if you're going from red to green or something completely on the different end of the spectrum, it's going to make it muddy. But the idea with tie-dye is that you keep similar colours next to each other. Right, next we're going for bright green. It's so satisfying when you open it and all the powder falls down. Bright green and close it up. So glad you told me about gloves, Charlotte. Whoops. Turquoise is next, which it's called turquoise. I found it was like a light blue, to be honest, but it doesn't look it, does it, in this powder form? As soon as you add water, it goes blue. Okay, medium blue. It looks like, oh gosh, have you ever been to anywhere like Tunisia or Morocco or something? You have the bags of spices and they're like piled really high. It reminds me a bit of that. It's amazing. All the colours. I love it. Okay, now we're going to do fuchsia, which is like a really deep pink purple. And then I haven't used the jet black yet, but I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe we could try something with it. Again, close it up, and then we're going for jet black. Right, we can put our spoon aside. We should have enough stirring sticks for each one. We'll put one of those in each one. Oh gosh, I keep nearly spilling everything. Who's going to be the first to spill one of these? I really hope it's not. I hope none of us do, to be honest. Right, I'm going to turn them all around so that we've got a number 3 visible. When I say number 3, I mean on the ounces. I assume you've worked that out. All right, and I'm going to fill each one up. I'm going to put them. Oh, can you see them all from there? You probably can't, can you? And put them as close together as possible. Because it's so exciting when you see them all start to fill up. Are we ready? Look at them go. I don't think there's much more exciting in my life than just a spectrum of colours. Look at that green. Whoa! Ready for the blue? Look at that. It's so exciting. I love it. We went to the M&M shop in London the other day, and they've got this like display of, you know, when they just put all the M&Ms in those big display things and they're all in the rainbow colour. Oh, it does something nice to my brain. Right, we're going to mix each one. So we're getting all that sand, the salt and the dye all mixing together. Sometimes it does just want to sit on the top. But that salt helps the dye to sit in and to disperse a bit better. Ooh, I feel like the salt's gone a little bit lumpy, but that's fine. It should settle down in a bit. Oh, it has gone a little bit lumpy. That's fine. Though. I love it. How exciting is all the colours. It's one of my kids' iPads ringing. Okay, we're going to just keep mixing them all until they're all mixed up properly. And you should find that the salt starts to disperse. Find any of the bits of powder on the top. Just give it a little poke and a mix. Okay, if you've mixed them all in, you can mix them all a little bit more as you use each one as well. These little bits of powder just keep popping up to the surface. Right, is everybody ready? Hello, Yeesh. I'm such a klutz. I'm sure this is going to be all over me by the end of this. Right. Okay, I'm just going to clean off the... I'm going to just use one of these. It's going to have more dye on it by the end. Right, I'm going to clean off my table, make sure that we're all sorted. And what I'm going to do now is get my bin bag. If you've got a bin bag, now is the time to use it. It doesn't matter if you haven't got one, but I would recommend this little process because it will just help with the cleanup later. Right, we're going to move our dyes out the way. Somewhere that you're not going to knock them over, ideally. I'm going to say this all the time, but I'm probably going to be the person that does knock it over. That sounds very much like me. Right, I'm going to give my area a wipe. And now what I'm going to do is get a black bin bag. I'm going to open it up. And then I'm going to open it up and then sit it on the table like this so that I've got a lip all the way around the edge. And I'm going to place each one of my tea towels in. Actually, I'm just going to do the 3 for now. See, look, I've already just touched that with these gloves because I've got dye on my gloves. You've got to be very, very careful what you touch. So those lovely white tea towels have now got a little bit of dye on them because I wasn't very careful. But it's fine. That's my Curious Octopus mistake for the day. Right, I'll do this and I'll do the other one in a different bin bag. Actually, I'll get that out first. I'll get that out now. If you've got 4 kind of scrunched patterns, you can probably fit them all in one bin bag. But you do want to have a bit of space between because you don't want the colours to run to the next one. Okay, so I'm going to put this one in this bin bag, see if I can fit it all the way along. Just about. Okay, now I bought these. I wasn't overly impressed with how they worked. If you want, you can put your dye in this and squeeze it on. They're really hard to fill and they're really hard to squeeze. They weren't what I was expecting, but I put them in anyway. You're very welcome to have a go with them. Then I found the pipettes and they work loads better. So obviously you know how to use a pipette. You squeeze it, it sucks up the liquid, and then you can squirt it onto this. Because we're doing small amounts, these are perfect. You can buy the bigger like squeezy bottles that you sometimes get with tie-dye kits if you're doing bigger projects, or you can just pour it straight on. Depends how you want to do it, but I'm going to use the pipettes today. So I'm going to go for a rainbow effect. Shall we do we'll do the spiral one first. Hang on, this is trying to time out. I'm going to do the spiral one first. Now, the idea with this is we do not want muddy colors. And the way that we don't get muddy colors is that we keep the colors, each of the colors can touch each other, but try and keep the colors that are next to each other in the color spectrum next to each other on the tea towels. Because if you mix two colors from the opposite ends of the color spectrum, you get brown. We don't want brown. Personal preference. I don't want brown tie-dye. You might do. You can mix the colors if you want, but that's not what I'm going for. I want bright, vibrant colors. And the way to do that is to not let your reds touch your greens or your blues, because it's going to be horrible. So the way we do this, I'm going to start with the red. Give it an extra mix. We're going to use our pipette, suck up some of the dye so that it's like this. Be careful of any drippage. I'm going to start from the outside of the tea towel and just drip some of this in. Be careful of the very central point, because that's the bit that goes muddy, because all of the colors will meet at that point. So maybe the first color that you do, just hold it back a little bit from the center. Okay, so I'm just doing a bit of red, and anywhere that I can see white in a triangle. So I want it to be narrow in the center and wider on the outside. And remember, we've got 7 colors. I'm ignoring the black for this one. We've got 7 colors. So if you split it roughly into 7, so obviously into half, you should have 3.5 of the colors. I don't know if you can kind of just imagine cutting it into a pizza. It's easier to imagine in a 6 and then just make them slightly smaller than what it would be in a 6. Does that make any sense, or am I just talking rubbish? So we don't want loads of liquid sitting in the bin bag. You want all of the drips to be sucked up by this tea towel. So don't go squirting lots everywhere. We don't want muddy colors. When you are finished with each color, I'm gonna empty my pipette, and then I've got my clean water. I'm just gonna suck it up in there. And if you want, you can just squirt it back out into, I've got another jug over there, or your bowl of water, just to try and keep this water clean. Right, so I've got a clean pipette. I'm going to put my red back. I'm going to pick up my orange, and I'm going to give it a little stir and do the same thing again. So I've got orange. I'm going to do a little triangle, trying to get it onto all the visible bits of tea towel. Don't worry about the underneath for the minute. We're just doing the top. Once you've done that, squirt the rest back in. Give it a clean. Squirt it out in there. Right. We've got yellow. Yellow looks like a very weak orange, but trust me, it is yellow. It's so funny, isn't it? Once you put it on, it starts going, it goes really bright yellow. I just love it. There's something so exciting about these dyes. I love them. Right, I've used all of that yellow. Squeeze out, give it a clean green. So exciting. Yeah, be careful of your drips. Don't know why I took that out then. Okay, we're dripping some green all over. And you can allow these colours to overlap a little bit, and that is what makes you the colours in between. For example, I don't know if you've noticed, there isn't a purple in here, and that's because you have this beautiful, vibrant fuchsia pink, and you have two different colours of blue. Oh, gosh. So if you notice on here, I don't know if you can see it because of the, it looks a bit orangey on there, but in real life, this looks like it goes between blue, it's a light blue to a dark blue to a pink to a purple, no, to a purple to a pink, sorry. Because when the two colours mix, you get all the colours in between as well. When you come round to the blues, one of the blues is really dark, so you can probably use a little bit less, although it's, again, personal preference, whatever you want to do. Try not to go too far in the middle, and you should be able to eyeball this. And again, you don't have to mix it, you don't have to rinse it out every time. When you're going from a light blue to a dark blue, you can just pick up the dark blue, because the dark blue is obviously not going to be affected by the light blue being mixed in. So I'm just adding some dark blue here. Not too much in the middle. And then the fuchsia. As long as you're going from one colour to the next, you can just pick up the next colour, basically. And then here's the fuchsia pink, which will make, once you let that overlap, because that can then overlap onto the red and to the blue, and that completes your colour wheel. Yeah, how beautiful is this looking? So once you get round and you match the colours all together, you should have something that looks a little bit like that. In the camera, it looks very orangey, but it does look a lot more pink in real life. Now, if you turn it over, we've got lots of white underneath. What we don't want to do now is put that down, because you don't know what drips of colours you've got. Oops. On the plastic bag. However, what we should have done is get a sandwich bag ready. So if you can get yourself, if you haven't picked this up already, if you have, don't panic too much. You could just, actually, you could just put it down on the tablecloth if you have. Get yourself a sandwich bag ready and have it open, because you're going to need one hand to put it in. So when you have finished this, what we're going to do is turn it round, and we're going to try and match the colours on the other side, but without putting it down. We don't want these colours to drip through, okay? So we're not adding so much that it's going to drip through, because that is going to look so lovely, and it's not going to be muddy at all, because we've put all the colours of the colour wheel next to each other, okay? So when we turn it back round, I can see that my red is there. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let me get some red here. And I'm going to do my triangle like that on the bottom. Fill all the spaces that you can. Don't oversaturate. That's the key here, is that we want it to be covering the fabric. We don't want it to be oversaturated, okay? I'm going to pick up some orange. And if you notice, you'll be going round the opposite direction because we've turned it over. So if you were going clockwise with your rainbow first, you'll be going anti-clockwise now. Yellow. Look at this wonderful yellow. Oh, love it. green. And yes, as you can probably see, that blue that's called turquoise is not very turquoisey. It's a bit like a light blue. But if you let the green and the light blue overlap a bit, then it becomes a lovely turquoisey colour. Again, don't let them mix in the middle. I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Oops, tripping. Turquoise. Blue. I'm kind of dabbing as I'm squeezing. So as you can see, it's not dripping at all. There is a little bit on the bin bag from where I did it before. I'm going to put a little bit on that little edge as well. And then the fuchsia, which makes the purple and the pink. Be careful as well what you're doing underneath, how you're holding it underneath. I've just noticed, because it might be that you're transferring colours with your hands. If you do get a little blob of something else on it, don't panic too much. It is all about the creative process. Doesn't really matter too much. Right. Now I've done this. Oh gosh. Oh no, it's been fine. Okay, I've got my colours on both sides. And what I'm going to do now is put this into a sandwich bag and leave it for a good 24 hours if I can. When you put it in your sandwich bag, try and don't smush it in so the colour, because try and place it in and then don't let it move. If you're putting it in and then moving it around, it will smush the colours, okay? So we're going to put it in, close it up, and we're going to leave that for 24 hours. Okay, now we can go and do our next one. So however you want to do this, just go wild. You can, on this next one, what I'm going to do, be careful. So where I dyed that one, there will be bits of dye there, okay? With this one, I think I'm going to go a bit more rogue and just blob colours wherever I want. I will have to be a little bit more careful about not letting very different colours touch each other, but do whatever you want. I'm just going to go wild with this one. So bits of red here, maybe a bit here. If you have done a blob somewhere accidentally, then go with it. Find that colour and put it on it. Put it on it. I might do this one at the same time, actually. I'm going to go for, I'll do the colour spectrum from this end of the concertina. And with the concertina one, again, I'm going to leave it where it is, and then I'm going to turn it over. But with this, you can just flip it over because all the colours should be in the same place. Orange. And I can do the orange next to the red. But just randomly. Go wild, get creative, see what happens. It's experimenting, it's fun. We forget to play as adults, and this is our chance to play. I'm still kind of going with the rainbow theme, but I'm just, and don't forget, you don't have to use all of the colours. You can do you know, blue, purple and pink one. You can do a red, yellow and green one or something. You can do whatever you want. Have a go with the black as well if you want to use some black. Green. So this is where it gets a bit tricky because I have to be very careful not to let the green now touch the orange, because that is what is going to make brown. It can touch the yellow, it could touch the blue if I've done blue. I don't want it to touch the orange because it's 2 cups away, if you see what I mean. We only want the colours to touch their neighbours. I know that sounds very strange. I am aware. See, I quite like this being red, yellow, green, red, yellow, orange and green. I could stop there. Shall I stop there? Maybe I should stop there. Maybe I could do some black on this. Let's try that. We're just playing with it. We're just going to see what happens. Give the black a little mix. I think I'm going to fill the rest with black. See how that goes. Ooh. Now, don't forget the black, I mean, it has been diluted, which works well for other colours. Might be that it goes a bit grey. We'll see. I'm just going to see what it looks like. That fuchsia pink and black might look good as well if anyone fancies doing that. Okay, now I've done all of one side. And I'm going to turn it over and do the set. Actually, no, I've learned my mistakes from the last time. I'm going to get my sandwich bag ready. Have it open. Is everybody okay? Sorry, I haven't really been reading the things. Okay, I'm going to lift this up. Do the same again. Blobs of red. Oh, maybe what I could do on the other side with the other colours. Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to go blue, purple, and fuchsia on the other side. Starting from the fuchsia because I've still got a little bit of red in my pipette. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? We're just chucking some dye on some fabric. There's a bit of green now that I need to be a bit careful of. I don't want green next to red because they're not neighbours. I'm excited to see what this one's going to look like. I'm going to leave a little bit of white to add some black to it. Oh, yeah. And of course, we're not going to see what these look like until tomorrow or until the next day. But I absolutely really hope and expect that you guys will post how yours turned out. So that's what that one looks like. Clean out the black. Okay, I'm going to put that one straight in my sandwich bag. And again, be very careful. Put it in, place it down. Try not to let it move too much because we don't want those colours smudging, especially because we've got things like yellow and black. If you get the black on the yellow, it's going to be muddy, messy, gross. Okay, I'm going to continue with this one. I'm going to get some yellow. Hello. I mean, I love the rainbow spectrum, as you can probably tell. But if you go with whatever you want to do, I'm drawn to going for the rainbow spectrum, but you are welcome to just try whatever patterns you want to do. I left a little bit too much space, but that's fine, because what I can do is you can just keep going with these colours. You don't have to stop when you get to the fuchsia. You can just go round to the red again and carry on. Because they blend so nicely. I might even go to the orange again. Why not? Oh, that's orange. And as you can tell, those dyes, I mean, I've used half an ounce of most of the colours, if that. You can see how far this goes, and I've done 3 tea towels nearly. Right, when I fold this over so I can see the other side, I'm going to fold it this way, so I'm not folding back onto where the colours were sat with the last ones, because when you turn it over, you can see how much is still white. But I should be able to see the colours and where they are on the tea towel already. And I'm going to just go back through all of the colours that I used. I had some red here, but I also had some red on the other end. I'm going to go and do that. And the great thing is, when the concertina is all closed, you get these lovely flashes of white where you have mist, which looks really great because it just brings out the colours so much. Again, we're not going wild with the liquid. We don't want too much liquid. We just want it to soak in. Is everybody okay? Hi, Kaylee. Hi, Meg. Oh, there's lots of lovely people joining. As you can see, we are learning tie-dye. If anyone needs any help, I'm looking now, so I'm really sorry if I haven't been noticing the messages. Okay, that's another one done. What we can do with the last one? Rinse that out. Okay, this one might be a little bit tricky to put in a sandwich bag because we don't want the colours to touch each other. So what I can do is roll it into a bit of a kind of a C shape or a U shape, but try not to let the colours touch each other, which I just did. And again, put them in very carefully. So see, that's going to sit like that. Close it up and let that sit for 24 hours. And then with this, we could just close it up. You can use it as a bin bag. And I've got a little bit of dye on my tablecloth, but not too much. So it just doesn't get as messy. Okay. What am I going to do with this diagonal concertina? Oh, look, there's a couple of splashes of see, I had these visions of like flicking things onto it, but that's going to get really messy. But you do whatever you want in terms of doing this. I'm going to have the majority of this in the bag and then a little bit out the edges, because I'm going to want to. No, I'm getting dye all over it already. What I think I'm going to do with this one is do black. I think I'm going to do spaces in between and then do some black lines in between. Maybe a rainbow with black in between. Is it going to run? Is it going to go muddy? I don't know. But we can try. We can experiment, can't we? Let's try. Or maybe just some dots of black. I still just want to do rainbows. I just always want to do rainbows. What shall I do? Should I do rainbows? Maybe I'll do a pink, purple, and green. Pink, purple, and blue one. That's what I'm going to do. Match my hair normally. Right. Blobs of fuchsia. So it's fuchsia. I say pink, purple, and blue. I mean fuchsia, blue, and turquoise. Medium blue and turquoise. And the mixture of those together will make a pink, purple, and blue. I'm going to let some of the blue touch the fuchsia because it's lovely and it mixes so nicely together. I hope that you're all just kind of in the zone, and you've all been very quiet today, which sometimes I love it, because I think, I wonder if they're all just like in the zone of throwing colour on or whatever we're doing. I hope that is the case. Such a satisfying craft, isn't it? And just to remind you, if you want to join us next month, I'm always scared to say what we're going to do, because I think, oh gosh, what if it's not that? But I'm 99% sure that next month we're going to do more of an art box rather than a craft box, and do watercolors. How do you feel about that? So I'll send you out everything you need, obviously, because that's what I do with Curious Octopus. Send you everything you need, and we'll go through and we'll do a watercolor class, and I'll teach you lots of different techniques, and we'll paint something together. I don't know how you feel about that. I haven't really done any just art techniques before, but someone asked me if I would do a watercolor class, and I thought, why not? Why am I shying away from that? So there's some absolutely lovely techniques with watercolors that we can do, that you can just do the most amazing things and make these wonderful, lovely paintings. So please do let me know what you feel about that. Right, I'm going to turn this over, my little concertina, and do the same on the other side. I think this concertina is going to be lovely, actually, I think, because I think what's going to happen is there'll be quite a light diagonal line in the middle because I'm only really painting the dye on the bits that you can see. So there should be a really nice bit right in the middle, which doesn't really have much dye on it, I think. I don't know. That's my prediction. Nobody said anything about the watercolors, so I'm scared. If you think it's a terrible idea, I mean, if everyone goes, no, I absolutely don't want to do that, I want to do another craft, then let me know and I will send something else out. But that's my plan so far. And I have lots of other lovely crafts planned. I know which crafts I want to do, and I just changed my mind as to which one I want to send out every month. So don't think that I'm just kind of, you know, chucking stuff out last minute. I just get so excited and I'm like, oh no, I want to do that one next. No, I want to do that one next. I'm excited about this one. And I'm really excited to see what you guys do with these. So what I'm going to do when we've done this, I'll bag this one up. I have got some other ones that I did earlier that I will open up. I'll show you and tell you the next part of the process, because obviously I can't show you all of it because some of it involves washing. So once we've done this, I don't know how far you guys are through, but I am nearly finished. Let me know when you're finished or how far through you are. See, I've made 3 ounces of each of these, and I don't think I've used 1 whole ounce of any of these colours. So if you need to go and find some more things to dye, and don't forget, all of these dyes are completely natural, so you can let them absorb into something, that you can rinse them down the sink. It's all just natural dyes, so it's not going to be damaging for the environment or anything like that. It's basically, I mean, I don't know the exact ingredients, but it's basically, you know, beetroot powder and things like that. So don't worry too much about that. They also keep quite a long time. So if you've got any bottles that you can put them in to keep them for later, I wouldn't recommend leaving them too long. If you've got a tie-dye project that you want to do in the next few days, keep them, put some cling film on them or something, or put them in bottles, and you can use all that dye again. Right, so I'm going to put that in a sandwich bag too. This one. And then what I'm going to do is open up some that I made earlier, so you can see what they look like when they... How am I going to put this one in? I might have to roll this so that it kind of fits in but doesn't touch itself too much. There we go. Right, they are all going to sit for 24 hours. I'm going to use one of these to mop up my table. Really trying not to knock anything over. Right, and so once you've got your... oh gosh, this is dripping everywhere. I thought I'd squeezed it out. I'm going to use this one to... Once you have got finished and the dyes have been sat in the tea towel for about 24 hours, if you can leave it that long, what I need you to do then, I will send all of this stuff out in an email, all this information, just so that you've got the information to read and go back to, because you're not going to remember all this. Once you've taken your tea towels out of the bags, they will look a little bit like this. I'll do one at a time. So this one is one that I've now taken out and I have rinsed it, okay? What we need to do first is rinse it as much as you can with cold water. The temperature of the water really, really makes a difference with this. The cold water helps to lock it in. The warmer water will then, the cold water, you can rinse out any excess, and then the warm water helps to lock it in. But we don't want it to be too hot, because then that gets rid of that kind of takes some of the colour out. So with this one, what I've done is I've held it under the tap. But again, we've got to be very, very careful not to muddy our colours. So I've held this under the tap like this, trying to rinse each colour off separately. And it doesn't look like it now because you can see all the dye on the table, but I rinsed it until each section was completely clear and you couldn't see any of the dye coming out. Then what you can do is open up your tea towel and give it another rinse while it's open. I haven't done that with these because I wanted to open it with you so you can see what they look like, because the reveal is the best bit. So what I'll do now is open these up and then I'll go and rinse them off again. Once you've rinsed them off, you can put them in the washing machine on a cool wash at 30 degrees. And if you've got if it's just colourful on your tea towel, then you can just put them in on a 30 wash. You want to use fabric cleaner, but not fabric conditioner. Okay, the fabric conditioner is not what we need. It strips all the colour out. We don't want that. Right. Again, I'm going to send you all the information on an email. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about remembering all of this stuff. I'm just telling you because you need to know what it's like. So this one is, oh, that looks nice. Can you see? I love it. It's dripping a bit. The colours are all kind of dripping straight down. So I'm going to close that one up. And I might just roll it up. Oh, gosh. I don't want to put the tea towel back on the bits that it's dripped because it'll make it all muddy. So I'm just going to roll that up. I'm going to use this other one, actually, to... So, yeah, normally it's hard for me to show you what I'm doing because normally you can do this bit over the sink. You rinse it till it comes out clear. Then you open it up, rinse it till it comes out clear, and then you put it straight in the washing machine, and then you can wash it. So you don't get this dripping so much. But I wanted to show you. So these have just been rinsed off. They do feel quite wet, so this one's going to drip as well. But it is exciting when you open it, so we're going to open it. I don't mind if mine get a bit muddy because they are for you to see. Right, are we ready for this? I'm going to open up. This was the scrunch one. Oh, that's nice. Can you see that? The scrunch. See, this one has actually got quite a lot of white on it. So what I've added in your pack is a little bit of white, you know, the stuff that you use, what's it called? The stain remover. And what that will do for the bits that were white, any bits of dye that are floating around in the washing machine, this will just take that out. Okay, so this is just half a scoop, but you can just use half a scoop of this in the washing machine, and that will be lovely. Just going to try and scrunch that up again. I will go and rinse that off properly again in a minute. And then we've got our spiral one, which is always my favorite one to open. This is why it's good to wear tie-dye clothes when you're doing tie-dye. It doesn't really matter if you get it on your clothes more. Right, okay, we've got our lovely spiral. Oh, taking the bands off would be advisable. How's everyone doing with this? I hope you're enjoying it. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's so cool. That is super cool. Right. I need to go and rinse those off properly. I hope. Is there anything else I need to tell you? I'm going to send you the information now. So you need to just leave them for 24 hours. Rinse them off as much as you can so that they're not dripping into each other's colours. So when you've got those flat discs, rinse off the red, pull it out, turn it round, rinse off the orange till it goes clear, then turn the whole thing over, do the same thing. It does take a little bit of a while to do that, but it's totally worth it. And that is what's going to stop your tea towels and your colours going muddy. Okay, I hope you have a lovely time doing this. I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you, is there? All my towels are done. I can't wait for tomorrow. Yes, Anna, I can't wait to see them. If you have just ordered plain white pillowcases and a white hoodie, I think Pips will love to do this tomorrow. Exactly. If you've got any kids around, that it's a great kid thing. And if you've got, I mean, look at all of this dye. That was one scoop in 3 ounces of water. You've got 11 more. It didn't look like much dye, did it? But you've got 11 more times what I've used today. I don't know how much you used. Please let me know on the Facebook group or post on your own story. That's always good for engagement, getting Curious Octopus out into the world. Thank you very, very much for joining me. And I cannot wait to see what they all look like in the next few days. Have a great February. Please join us next month. Let me know what you think, even if it's in a private message about watercolors. There's some lovely, lovely techniques. Don't worry if that's freaking you out and you think I'm not artistic. I'm going to be there step by step to see you through, and then you'll have a watercolor kit and you'll be able to just play. Let yourself play. Let it just happen. Make marks, see what happens, and enjoy the creativity of it. Yeah, I will send the rest of the instructions by email now, because you will need that tomorrow. And and I love that you guys have started talking to each other. This is amazing. Yeah, if you haven't followed me already, please do. Please share and do whatever you need to do. If you've got friends that might like something like this, God, I sound really desperate now. I'm going to stop. Get involved in the Facebook group as well. It's closed. Please do share what you've done, because it's so lovely for me to see what you've made. Even if it goes right, if it goes wrong, we're all there for each other. We've all had it where things have gone right and gone wrong, but making mistakes is all part of the process. It's all part of the playing. Anyway, have a great evening. Let me know what I keep saying the same things. I'm going to go. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later. Well, I'm going to stop the YouTube and stop you guys.